Hello. This is the 12 primary bases, Acts chapter 27, about the three post-shipwrecks clues. We talked about a lot of August. This chapter once again confirms the significance of August, and also being related to the previous video analysis of late July or late Tisri. So, to start off, when we hear the word Pentecost, the word Pente refers to the number 5. And so, Pentecost has pretty much a lot to do with the number 5, with the map of F, which is the related to the Eve marker. So in Acts chapter 27 verse 1 it says, "And when it was determined that we should sail into Italy, they delivered Paul and certain other prisoners unto one named Julius, a centurion of Augustus' band." So this is very clear of pointing to time history would be referencing August at the same time. September will be Tisri, and so this is very kind of like a confirmation, because the name Julius is, the definition is July. The name Augustus is actually referring to the month of August. If we see here, so when we define July in dictionary, here it says the month of July was named after Julius Caesar. When we define August, we could see that it was named after Augustus, the first Roman emperor. So this is saying that the number 7 and 8 are very important, because in Acts chapter 27 it says Julius and Augustus, which refers directly to July and August. And we know that July and August could also be seen as Tisri and Cheshvan. So this is saying that the three post shipwrecks is related to the number 7 and 8. Remember that I talked about three post shipwrecks. It's not just about the 3 to 9/11 pattern that's going to happen around time the 6 days of darkness, but it could also be seen as a kind of a more another way of seeing three post shipwrecks would be including Genesis worldwide flood as the first post shipwrecks, the shipwrecks during time 6 days of darkness as the second shipwreck, specifically the sixth seal as well. The third post shipwreck is going to refer to time the Great Tribulation, because it will be a worldwide judgment. And so when I say three poor shipwrecks, and in relation to number 7 and 8, it is not only to be referred to the barley harvest, but also to the wheat harvest. And so that's why we see number 78 is actually is in kind of during the month of November. If we go to the chart, so indeed the September would be history, and we'll be referencing back to August. The time November would be number 78, and that's kind of echoed to Acts chapter 27. It talked about the number 78 are being related to the shipwrecks representing the worldwide judgment. And so the wheat harvest will be seen as the third part shipwrecks, and September to October will be seen as the three part shipwrecks, and the second part shipwrecks as speculation. So Paul had his shipwrecks in Acts chapter 27, and I'm not gonna go through everything. If you're interested, you could go to download link in the description box. Acts chapter 27 is directly related to the sixth seal. And this is once again confirming number 7 and 8 being related to the time of the sixth seal. You know that the time of the sixth seal is gonna be also time of the 3 days of worldwide darkness. And let's go to Revelation. Well, first of all, we go here in verse 19 to 20. And the third day we cast out with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared, and no small tempest lay on us, our hope that we should be saved was then taken away. And it's exactly matching the sixth seal in Revelation chapter 6, verse 12 to 17. So especially in verse 12 to 13 says, And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So this is actually like echoing to the three Persian shipwrecks, and this confirming that the three Persian shipwrecks would be related to the month of Tishrei and Shushan, and we can see that the time of November, which consists of number 7 and 8, but also September would be Tishrei, and but also it's gonna reference back to August as well, and that's the number 78 again. It might sound a bit complicated because we need sometimes the certain numbers are important, certain months are important, and we kind of like wonder what would be the primary and what would be the secondary. So remember that back in the song chapter 23 verse 4 analysis, it was pointed 4 o'clock, which was the Tammuz and July direction. And once again we see the number 7 of July, and that's equal to Tishrei because that's the Jewish 7th month. And so this is once again confirming the cosmic event of Matthew 16 and 3 days of worldwide darkness. It's very much related to the time Tishrei. And so you may wonder, like, what about the number 4, Tammuz? But I think that the number 7 is kind of standing out more because Genesis chapter 7 was about the worldwide judgment, and it was the number 7. And in verse 27 to 28, this is really really interesting. It says, "But when the 14th night was come, as we were driven up and down in Adria, about midnight, the shipmen deemed that they drew near to some country, and sounded, and found it 20 fathoms. And when they had gone a little further, they sounded again, and found it 15 fathoms. So there are 4 points to consider: the 14th night, the midnight hour, 20 fathoms, and 15 fathoms. And this is very interesting. Counting from Rosh Hashanah, month 12, Lenten to September to October. And the 14th night resembles the 14 years of counting from 2015 to 2001, the year of the 9/11 attack. And once again, 2016 is back to 2015. They're connected together because one without another would be meaningless. When they're connected, it would form a transformation code. So that's why 2016 still is going back 2015 of the 14-night pattern. And I know that there might be a lot more to see that, but the 9/11 attack was really to be used in relation to 3-pi shipwrecks, because 3-pi is actually literally decoded as 3 of 9/11. 4-pi is 9/11 itself. And it's also very important to consider that Israel during the time 2015 was a very special year. Israel was turning from 66 years old to 67 years old. I think that was amazing, and I'm so thankful to see that, because gonna calculate 2015 minus 1948 equals to number 67. The 66 number is also in 2015. It's transitioning from 66 to 67, transformation code again, in relation to the time 2015. So, to make it more clear as to why there are two numbers, 66 and 67, together in one single year, just as if you have a birthday, for example, like you're 25 in 2016, and then when it hits your birthday, it will be 26. So that's, once again, we get both numbers together, and 2015 was a year that was very unique, because of the transition code, and this is just one of them. So I found that pretty mind-blowing as well, and here again it confirms, using 2015, it's a 20 fathoms and 15 fathoms that we see in number 20 and 15 again, which is 2015 and year 2015 as the core year for measure. And also converting 20 fathoms would be 120 foot, 15 fathoms would be 90 foot. So if we go to the clock, 120 degrees and 90 degrees, it is pointing to number 67. So this is actually confirming about Israel's birthday, which is so crucial to be used. So once again, that's transformation code. 90 to 120 degrees. We look on clock. So pointing to June and July direction. June and July direction, 90 degrees, 120 degrees. So that's 67. That's confirming the calculation of 2015 minus 1948. So in verse 35, and when he had thus spoken, he took bread and gave thanks to God in presence of them all, and when he had broken it, he began to eat. So Back in time, the Comet Ison in 2013, it landed on Thanksgiving and Hanukkah. So, this is actually referring referring to verse 35, because it says that he gave thanks to God, which is Thanksgiving, and that's the communion. He took bread and broken it. So remember that the accommodation pattern was a marker for the coming 3 days of darkness, and so on the day of the accommodation that occurred in November 28, it symbolized the 40 days of Jesus' ministry, and so that's why it is going to August 28. Backward recording from November would be August 28. Remember number 828? Number 828 is the number of crucifixion. For the forward 40 days from August 28 lengthened to October 6. This is a confirmation to October 5 to 6, 2016, as the speculated date of the end of the 6 days of darkness, as the start of the countdown to the rapture of the bride's conception, as represented by Comet Ison conception with the sun and the Comet Ison tail analogy. And having it landed on the 40th day on October 6, which once again confirmed a disaster earthquake marker, because Comet Ison, the word Ison, was after the 40 days, and then the word Ison means disaster. So that's confirming that October 6 is possibly be a very important date. And remember that 828 was the crucifixion marker, and that actually go back to the time around 3 days of burial, represent 3 days of darkness. So exactly echoes to October 16, 19, 2013. That was a time where the moon went to the belly of the fish for 3 days. So in verse 38, it talked about cast out the wheat into the sea. And the wheat here is referring to Jonah, who represented wheat brides. And the first colours are of the barley braids, because barley matures faster than the wheat. Yet both of them look so alike that you can hardly tell the difference. Jonah went into the sea and trapped in the belly of the whale for 3 days, representing 3 days of worldwide darkness. Many wheat brides will be partially raised up after 3 days of worldwide darkness, just as Jonah. He was lukewarm, came back to God. Or he was backslidden, lukewarm or backslidden. And in verse 41 talked about 2 seas met. The words 2 seas met symbolizes the Passover, when the Red Sea was getting back in this place after the Israelites were fled to the wilderness. 3 days of worldwide darkness will be Passover itself, because there will be a lot of souls that will be saved. This is confirming to use the Passover boundary of April 22nd, 30th of 2016 for a time November. And also another confirmation was that World Trade Center 1 from the 98th to 93rd floor were 5 levels, and World Trade Center 2 from 84th to 78th floor were 6 levels. And this is once again confirming October 5 to 6 of 2016. And the next video will be about the 4 blood moons tetrad 2014 to 2015.